Welcome to the IDP Plus Advice Start Sit Show for week 3. Hard to believe. Shawn and I are here this week to help you with both your IDP and your offensive start sit questions, and to hopefully help you win and bring home another win this week. But even if you're 0-2, that's okay. I know I've had some 0-2 teams that have ended up making the playoffs and made it to the championship games. I'm sure Shawn has as well. So if you are 0-2, we're gonna help you get that first win this week to get you to 1-2. And with that, let me introduce myself. I am Ricky Rodrigue. You can find me on X at RickyRod66. You can find my partner Shawn Teague, the IDP expert, at Shawn8386 on X as well. Glad to have so many of you all here. Shawn, week 3, here it is on Sunday, September 21st. We're going to have a good week this week, aren't we?
I sure hope so. Dolphins gave me hope Thursday night by actually showing up and playing a pretty sound game. So I feel a little better. NFL wise, fantasy wise, I'm a little nervous on a few of my teams.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll help you do this week as well. Look, let's start off as we did last week with some of the linebacker key news and outs and questionables and so forth. Of course, TJ Edwards has been ruled out again this week. He was out week 1, played part of the game week 2, re-injured his hammy. Noah Sewell did a great job for him in week 1. Noah Sewell expected to step in week 3 here. And of course, Sewell replaced him in week 2. Deion Henley of the Los Angeles Chargers. He, right before the game this past weekend, he was listed as questionable with an illness. He had an incredible game, but you also saw him on the sideline continually taking oxygen. He didn't practice Wednesday, had a limited practice on Thursday, then was out again on Friday from a practice perspective. He is listed as questionable, but he is in the late window, everybody. So the reason I want to talk to you about that is being in the late window, you have to have a backup plan. Teams also tell us a lot in what they do. And they called up a linebacker, Imani Johnson, from the practice squad yesterday, which is another concerning signal. So right now, I know I have Henley in one of my leagues and I have him in my lineup, but I have a contingency plan just in case. I advise you all to do the same. Jack Campbell was also listed questionable for Monday night. Haven't heard any indications that he wouldn't play, but once again, with a Monday night game, please be sure that you have a backup plan. Dre Greenlaw went to IR. Justin Sternard will continue to start. A lot of frustrated Dre Greenlaw owners out there. Raise your hand if you're one of them. And but he will be out for the next 4 weeks, and hopefully that'll give him enough time to heal this quad injury, and he can come back at 100%. But in the meantime, Justin Sternard is the man. At the Giants linebacker situation, of course, Micah McFadden is on IR. Darius Muasau with a combination concussion and eye issue is out. Chris Board, the next backup, was put on injured reserve. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles is doubtful. That leaves next to Bobby Okereke either Swayze Bowman, Abdul Carter, or Neville Hewitt, who they just signed and just pulled up from the practice squad. If you have any offensive players going against the Giants, in general, that's a good thing. This just makes it even better. Shawn, of all those folks, we're not playing any of those guys thinking that they're going to get us a lot of stats from an off-ball linebacker perspective, right?
No, absolutely not. That's an absolute mess. And I'm not taking that chance right now. Now, if these other guys are going to be out for a while, yeah, we'll see who takes all the snaps, and we can adjust from there. But not this week.
And one other linebacker call out I wanted to make back to watching what teams do. Kaiser White, who's on the Tennessee Titans practice squad, was called up this week from the practice squad and is expected to be one of the 47 active players for the Titans this week. We've been playing Cedric Gray in that number 2 linebacker role. I've been cautioning about this, and we've even suggested maybe you want to put Kaiser White on your bench as a stash. We're going to want to see what happens. Kaiser White hasn't typically been a special teams player with Arizona last year or two, so I don't think they're calling him up for special teams, Shawn. Are we worried that Kaiser White's going to eat into Cedric Gray snaps this week?
Probably a little bit, especially with his struggles in coverage. This could be part of that.
Yeah. So Cedric Gray is someone that we're a little bit leery of playing as a result. So if you have other options, just something to consider. All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and start jumping into some questions here, Shawn. And we will come back to the defensive line, defensive backs, and some of those outs and questions here in a little bit. And Fantasy Breakout, who is usually one of our first questioners and has gotten in first this week. Happy Sunday to you, sir. Scoring format, and thank you for putting in the scoring format there. Rank these linebackers: Henley, Sherwood, Landman, and Herbig. So this is a situation where Herbig, while he's more of an edge, whichever platform he is playing on, Herbig is listed as a linebacker. Shawn.
With Henley being a bit questionable, I'm dropping him on this ranking. Herbig just because of we're not getting big points here for sacks, so I don't feel like that's enough to really make me want to start him either. Giving a slight edge to Landman this week over Sherwood.
Yeah, I'm right there between those two. I am a coin flip between Sherwood and Landman. I might have Sherwood just a tidbit ahead of him because he has been overall more productive, and he did have, what was it, 13 tackles, 15 tackles last week. So I think I'd go Sherwood and Landman. Henley, because of the illness situation, maybe he doesn't even play a full game, even if he's out there. And then Herbie, because he's an edge, and you'd only get 1 point for a sack, so he would be last for me as well. So there you go, Fantasy Breakout. And he has one more question here, which is: after watching another disappointing week from Winfield, I will pivot to Tyke Smith, I guess. Yes, we're very happy to have you pivot to Tyke Smith. No problem with that at all. Or would you play one of these others instead? Morig, Kobe Bryant, Curl, or Hooker?
I'm sticking with Taki here. Taki is he's one of the top safeties right now for IDP. The leading tackler on his own team. So
I,
I like his matchup today. I'm sticking with him.
so the one thing, do you think the Jets will play enough snaps on offense to allow Tyke to get the types of points? Are you counting on Tyrod Taylor just dinking, dunking, and just making that a huge opportunity for Tyke?
That's where I'm going with that more. I do think they can control the clock better than last week. Uh, they just got absolutely smashed last week. I expect Tyrod to at least manage the game up to a certain point, and then maybe have to air it out a little later to give us some even more chances down the field there. So I'm comfortable with Tyke.
Yeah, I do definitely over Winfield for sure. I like
Mm.
Morig over Winfield. The way Curl's been playing the first couple of weeks, I like Curl over Winfield as well. So I'm comfortable with, and Hooker has been actually playing quite well and a decent amount close to the box. So uh, any of those others, actually, I'm comfortable with over Winfield, even Kobe Bryant right now. But I'm with Shawn. I think Tyke Smith first, with Morig for me a close second. Okay.
I
Good luck,
have
fantasy.
no
Oh,
problem dropping Winfield for any of those guys if they're all on the waivers or if they're on your bench. If they're on your bench, no big deal there. But if they're just on waivers, I would drop Winfield for any of them.
I think Winfield is the only one that might keep him over is Kobe Bryant. But even with that, Kobe Bryant has been more productive than Morig, even though Kobe Bryant plays a lot of deep snaps as well. Dale Cooper, welcome, Dale. Dale is saying, and Dale's been a regular in the past, so glad to have you back, buddy. Who to start this week, Mariota or CJ Stroud, and which defense? So before we get to the defense, let's go with the quarterback situation. We have Mariota in Washington um, versus CJ Stroud and his matchup as well. Shawn? The,
I
the, Ra-
I,
the Raiders are a terrible defense, so I
I
understand.
know it makes it juicy, but I wonder about Mariota's connection with his receivers here. Is he going to come out sloppy as well? We don't know what that running game is going to look like either. Um, I I'm leaning Stroud, and it's not by a lot here, but I do see a scenario where Stroud might have to air it out a little more just to kind of match the Jaguars. Um,
I don't think I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, though,
think so.
too. Yeah, I do. But I think Houston's defense is going to contain Jacksonville.
The Christian Kirk revenge game, is it going to lead Stroud to a big day here?
Yeah, I think Houston wins this game, but I don't think it's a high-scoring game. I think Houston's offense is a mess, but their defense is strong, so I think this is a low-scoring game. But at the same time, Mariota, he hasn't started for a couple of years. Now, when he did play, he was effective. This Kingsbury system fits him well. I've got to go with the guy that's been playing versus the guy who's fresh off the bench, though. So I think I'm gonna go with Stroud on this one.
We agree, but for different reasons.
So Dale, we're going with Stroud, but I tell you what, it's neither one is an overwhelming choice. Manage your expectations on the low side. Now, on the defensive side, he's asking about the Bengals against Minnesota or Jacksonville versus Houston. I know it's Carson Wentz, but can we trust that Bengals defense?
That Minnesota offensive line was absolutely decimated this last game.
Now,
So
The Darasaw's going to be back at least. I saw this morning those are the reports. So at least he has the left tackle back, which will hopefully help against
who's probably going to
Hendrickson.
be rusty because he has been out all offseason.
Yep, that is correct.
So it's still there's no real big superstars on the Bengals outside of Hendrickson, but I can see Hendrickson getting 2 or 3 sacks, and I could also see Carson Wentz throwing a couple of interceptions. I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go to Cincinnati. I think I just kind of talked myself into it.
You know what? I think you talked me into it as well. I think the combination of Wentz being new, along with still some struggles on the O line that we saw, I think Cincinnati gives you a better chance for a big play. I don't think Stroud will make it. I don't think Houston will score many points, but I don't think Stroud is going to make as many mistakes. Uh, although, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm sorry, Dale. We're going to split this. I think Trevon Walker and Josh Hines Allen going against that Houston offensive line. I think I like that just a tidbit more. So I'm going to lean Jacksonville. We're gonna split this one
I
on you, Dale. Sorry
I
about
don't
that.
think Jacksonville's a terrible play either. They've been getting a lot of turnovers as well. Just from a points perspective, I think Cincinnati might give up less points than Jacksonville. But I'm expecting a different score than you are as well.
Okay. All right. So there you go, Dale. Good luck, man. Sorry we split it on you. Fantasy Sports. Welcome back, Fantasy Sports. Which three linebackers should I start? Landman, Devin White, Jack Campbell, or Servasia Dennis? So before you answer that, let me talk about Servasia Dennis, because if you listen to our IDP Plus advice show that we recorded Tuesday night, that got released Wednesday morning, we talked about the fact how Servasia Dennis was off the field late in the game, and Deion Jones was in there those last two possessions. The coach of the Buccaneers, Raheem Morris, has come out and said it is Raheem Morris, right?
Todd Bowles,
Sorry, Todd Bowles got my defensive
you're
backs confused.
playing
My
Raheem
bad.
Morris. Yeah,
That is correct.
the other day.
So Todd Bowles came out and said that it quote wasn't a benching. But so of these three, even with Campbell being questionable, with Dennis sitting out those last two possessions, I'm kind of leaning towards taking out Dennis on this one, Shawn.
I am too. As long as you do have another option, if Campbell doesn't start, maybe even if it's a flex for a third safety or something in there, or whoever takes Campbell's spot Monday night, that would be probably worth a pickup as well. But yeah, all indications are Campbell's playing, so I'm dropping Dennis too out of these three
Yeah,
or benching him.
and reading a lot of different Bucks information, just trying to learn out more about Sebastian Dennis. There's a lot of fans that are unhappy with him. And one of the comments read something along the lines, it was interesting seeing how many times they saw Sebastian Dennis as number 8, the back of his jersey, chasing a running back down the field
That's why we like him.
exactly. He still gets points for those tackles wherever they happen.
Yeah, 2 yards down the line or 15. It's points are points.
But the question is, will he be on the field to do it? So that's what we have to watch. Oh, Fantasy Sports has one more thing here. Adding to my previous question, should I drop Servasi Dennis in any of Roseboom, Levante David, Noah Sewell, or Kenneth Murray and start over any of my guys listed in previously? Okay, so Roseboom, Levante David, Sewell, and Murray are all free agents, is what he's saying. Would you pick up any of those guys and then start them over? I guess we had Jack Campbell last on the list because of the questionable tag.
Yeah, I'm not going to start any of these guys over the 3 you already have. But if Dennis continues to struggle or loses some playing time, I would drop him for Roseboom.
I would be comfortable dropping him for Roseboom or Murray, actually, for either one of those two.
Even now.
Yep, even now. I
Okay.
wouldn't do it for Levante David. This is something we've seen that's struggling continue since last year. And Noah Sewell is just more of a short-term option. And if you're not going to start him this week, but I'd be comfortable with Roseboom or Murray, either one of those two as well, over Dennis right now. Okay. Fantasy Breakout also asks, offensive question. Yes, Jaden Daniels, should I start Stroud, Mariota, Mac Jones, or Taylor, Tyrod Taylor?
This is ugly. Um, I'm leaving Stroud again.
I'm actually going Mac Jones in this one.
Are you?
It's clear that he's going to be the starter, and part of the reason is Arizona is down so many cornerbacks. Before the year started, they lost Sean Murphy Bunting and Starling Thomas. Not that Thomas was a superstar or anything. They just put Garrett Williams, their starting cornerback who moves into the slot position. They put him on IR. Will Johnson, the rookie cornerback, is doubtful. Max Melton is questionable. So if he does play with that knee injury and the way he left the game, he's probably going to be less than 100%. So it could be like a Keytrell Clark, a banged up Max Melton. Mac Jones can take advantage of a poor defense secondary as he did against the Saints. So I'm actually comfortable, very comfortable with Mac Jones over all of these guys. And this is his second start, not his first. And even if Purdy's active, the discussion is that he's only going to
Emergency, right?
play if Jones gets hurt. And even with that, there's some weird because Adrian Martinez was called up from the practice squad. Is my understanding he has to be the number two. There's some weird rule there that I was reading yesterday that I'd never heard of before, and I wish I could remember the source because it might not be correct, but that may first force Purdy to be the number three because Martinez was promoted from the practice squad. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but that's just something we'll have to watch for today. But regardless, I expect Mac Jones to start and have a very good game against Arizona. All right, so we're a little bit split on that one. Fantasy breakout. Who should I drop? Alec Ayamaner or Dylan Sampson? And the
Why are we
question is
dropping them?
why?
I guess is
Yeah. So let's do this fantasy breakout. If you're still on listening and watching this show, please let us know later in the chat who would you be, why do you need to drop one of these two? Is there someone else you're keeping or want to pick up? And we'll give you a little bit more advice. And it'd be interesting to see maybe a little bit about who your wide receivers and who your running backs are as well. But if I had to drop one right now, just straight on this, quick answer. Who are you dropping out of these two?
Sampson.
Samson as well, for me as well. I agree with you. Harry's asking, welcome, Harry Brooks. Needs a second safety. He's starting Tyke Smith. Should I start any of Newbin or Winfield or drop any of them for Eric Murray, Xavier Watts, Chuck Clark, Jonas Sanker, or Cam Kinchins?
I am comfortable dropping Antoine Winfield for Eric Murray or Xavier Watts right now. I think those are my top two guys.
If I need a one-week play with Deshaun Elliott out, with no, we haven't talked about the defensive backs outs yet, but Deshaun Elliott is out for 1 week. Would you play Chuck Clark over Newbin?
Um,
You want to give Newman
Probably,
one more week, don't
I
you?
want to give Newman, if they can get another linebacker that can stay starting in New York, I think Newman's play will change. So I'm not ready to drop Newman yet. But Antoine Winfield, yeah, this is schematically he's out of the picture here for me in IDP. So he's the guy I would drop. I'm holding on to Newman. I want to give him another week or two. But if we're still getting nothing, then I'd be okay cutting him too.
All right. So which one are you starting this week, though? Are you going to
Uh,
start Newman or Murray? Or so you're dropping Winfield. We're picking up one, and Murray would be the first one. I agree with you on that.
yeah,
So who are you starting out of Newman and Murray to help Harry out?
I'm going to go ahead and start Murray right away.
I am too, and I'm gonna hold on Newman for one more week and see how things go with the Giants. Okay, good luck, Harry. Skywalker, welcome back to you as well. Skywalker, should have started Bo Nix over any of these waiver wire options. Jake Browning, Drake May, Kyler Murray, or Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm starting Drake May.
I am as well. I don't think Nix is a bad option this week. I think they're pretty close. But against that Pittsburgh defense that has really struggled, particularly against the run, I could see Drake May rushing for 30 yards and a touchdown on top of what he gets passing. And so I think it's a great week for Drake May. Um, I think Knicks against that Chargers defense is going to be a rough week. So I'm going May. Sean's going May. And good luck, Skywalker, on that. Tyreek, glad to have you back again this week. Good morning to you as well. Pick two linebackers, Logan Wilson, Servasia Dennis, Mac Wilson, and Rose Boom. And I hope you have a blessed day as well, Tyreek.
Rose Boom is the easy start for me. The second one's quite a bit harder here. I'm somewhere between Wilson or Wilson.
I'm going with Wilson.
Yeah.
I
Good
think I'm
luck.
going Logan.
Next question.
I'm going Logan Wilson on this one.
Logan Wilson.
I think Minnesota's going to try and run the ball a decent amount with Wentz being in there. And with Wentz, to your point, he does throw picks, and Wilson does good in coverage and all. And maybe there's something there too. Mac Wilson, we'll look at it at the end of the day. I'm sure he'll have 8 tackles against San Francisco. He'll have 3 solo and 5 assisted, or
You're
4 and
right.
4.
You're right. That's a good call. I'll go Wilson too, but it's
Logan Will,
closer than I like it to be.
right. And Servasia Tariq, if hopefully you were listening earlier, because of our concerns with Deion Jones and will he play 100%, that's why we want to see this another week and we'd sit Servasia. Servasia could end up being on top of all these guys, but it is more risky. So if you want a higher reward, it might be Servasia Dennis, but you could have a much lower floor with Servasia.
Well, the other part of Dennis is the Jets aren't giving up a lot of points to linebackers. Part of that's been because they're getting blowed out too, but low snap count. So that's another reason to be a little leery of Dennis this week.
That's a great call out. Okay, moving to fantasy breakout with another question here. Pearsall or Swift in the flex in a half point PPR? Of course, DeAndre Swift was listed as questionable, but the reports from the insider types, Rappaport, Schefter, et cetera, all say that he is supposed to play.
I'm leading Pearsall.
You're
I
leaning
don't I
Pearsall.
don't have a lot more to add to that other than I think he's a good clear cut option for Mac Jones. Where Swift, if he is a little banged up, and this game gets out of hand, it's probably going to be a Dunze and Moore and whoever else catching the ball. I just don't know if it's going to be Swift this week.
Wow, Swift in that Dallas game is just so tempting. But we also talked about Pearsall against that Arizona secondary and all the injuries and struggling. Swift is probably in most rankings a top 12 to 15 running back this week, but it is a half PPR. I'm gonna go. I am gonna go with Pearsall as well on this one. Um, I think he will light up the Arizona secondary, particularly with Juwan Jennings not expected to play, and so Jennings out, Kittle out. I think Pearsall the number one target in San Francisco. I like those odds. I like Pearsall for a touchdown this week. The more I think about it. All right, Ken Vasquez, welcome back, Ken. Adebo against the Chiefs, and Adebo's been certainly targeted a lot and getting a lot of tackles. Or Tyke Smith against the Jets, and he has the scoring system listed here.
I'm going to take the safety probably 99 out of 100 times over the cornerback. Adebo is one of my favorite cornerbacks to go with, but I still like Tyke better this week. I think the Chiefs will spread the ball out enough that it won't just be Adebo. It'll be Phillips and whoever's on the other side, Flott or Banks, whoever. Uh, I feel like they spread the ball out a little more.
Yep, I when there's a cornerback versus safety, and we're talking a top safety in particular, I'm right there with you. So I'm running with Tyke Smith as well, and good luck to you, Ken. JT the Juice Man says, looking forward to the show. Thank you, JT. Hope you're enjoying it so far. And Rugaroo, my Louisiana buddy. Good morning, bonjour. Go Tigers and go Saints. Right there with you, bud. The LSU kicked butt last night, but of course it was Southeastern Louisiana.
That's
They
why
should
he's
have kicked
smiling
butt.
today.
That's why he's in a good mood. The OG says, with the scoring system here provided, 15 points per sack. Wow. Demario Davis for the Saints, Schlesinger, or Noah Sewell?
Um, well, the Saints give you that upside sack ability with Demario Davis, so there's one, and I think I'm leaning Schlesinger over Sewell. It's not by a lot though.
Schlesinger against that Green Bay offense, Noah Sewell against the Cowboys. I
The,
think I like him in this order as well right now because I haven't necessarily seen Sewell being blitzed. I'm not saying he hasn't, but I have seen Schlesinger blitz a couple of times, including in preseason. With 15 points for a sack, I got to go Demario Davis and Schlesinger over Sewell in this particular case. So good luck to you, OG. So Sean and I are in alignment on that one. Yes, we have our friend from Barcelona, if I'm remembering correctly. Welcome, Jardy. Hi from somewhere over the pond with a crappy American Airlines connection. um, I have experienced that American Airlines connection, and it is kind of iffy. I hear you, man. I hope you can get your lineup set. Thank you for the feedback on the 2 hour and 40-minute show. And yes, it was Barcelona. Um, uh, Jordan, when you get to the States, man, if you're ever in Austin, Texas, you got to let me know, man. I'll buy you lunch or dinner, okay, man? Love to meet you in person. And safe travels, by the way. The OG has another question. Same scoring system needs two defensive linemen with 15 points per sack. Daniil Hunter, Rashawn Gary. I'm guessing that's Young from the Rams, and Devontae Wyatt, who has actually been productive as well from the defensive tackle spot, and with 3 points for a tackle. I love these unique scoring systems, man.
yeah, this is big time on the sacks. I'm a little more nervous about Byron Young this week. That was against the Titans last week. He got a couple sacks. This week against the Eagles, they don't give up as many points.
Yeah,
And
with
as far
Mulata and
as
Lane
Hunter
Johnson
goes,
on the edge. Yeah, those are two much more formidable tackles than the Titans had out there last week.
and same for the Houston Jacksonville game. Jacksonville's not giving up any, maybe one sack this year so far. They've been a tough matchup. I don't like starting a defensive tackle over the edge rushers though.
And Packers are playing Cleveland,
It's
so
Joe
I think,
Flacco isn't very fast.
yeah, he isn't exactly the most mobile. So I think I'm leaning Rashawn Gary, but I still think I'm going to go with Daniil Hunter in this one against Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think so too. I do think he'll get enough tackles to kind of make up if he doesn't get a sack.
Okay. So yeah, Young, I'm with you with those Eagles tackles and all, and the way they've just been showing throwing the ball short, and hardly taking any deep shots of the Eagles. It's not really creating opportunities for sacks because they're getting the ball out so quickly. That could always change, of course, but right now we're going to go Hunter and Gary. And as a side note, we're halfway through. We're going to try and get to as many questions as we can, but we're only going to go about an hour, so we have just about a little bit over 30 minutes left. With that, if you use the super chat capabilities, we guarantee that we will answer your question before we go off the air. So y'all can check out that super chat capabilities here. And Sean will be helping me monitor and make sure we don't miss those. And Red Herring, who I think joined us occasionally last year, if I remember correctly. So welcome back, Red Herring. Glad to have you, and glad to hear you enjoying our IDP content. Thank you very much. He needs to sit someone out of Demario Davis, Schlesinger, Jermaine Pratt, Landman, Ivan Pace, and Tyrese Knight. And of course, he has the scoring system there. And thanks everyone once again for putting your scoring system. It really makes a big difference in our recommendations, as you just saw in the questions from OG here previously. So who do I sit? It looks like he only needs to. I'm assuming he only needs to sit one of these. So one of the things we didn't bring up. So let's go ahead and talk about that now as we go to answer the question. Harrison Smith is expected back for the Vikings today. Andrew Van Ginkel is expected back for the Vikings. If we go back to last year and how they're utilizing and assuming Theo Jackson's playing the Cam Bynum role, when all those guys were active and on the field, Ivan Pace played a significantly lower percent of snaps. Shawn, do you think that will be the same case if Van Ginkel and Smith are back again this week, that Pace's snaps will fall off?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do think everybody will go back to their role. Pace will get a little less playing time. Metellus should get a big boost in his where he is aligned. He should be in for some more tackles, and Van Ginkel is going to go back outside a little more. Uh,
So
so
with that,
Pace
would you pull Pace
Pace
off
will
this
start
list?
coming. He'll start coming down some, but I still might start him over Knight or Pratt right now.
Yeah,
I
those
think
three are all at the bottom of my list as well. And Red Herring in his next comment says he only needs to sit one.
I'm leaning to
And
sit Knight here.
you're leaning Knight.
But it's Knight or Pratt for me. That's where I'm at. I know Pratt's playing more on that edge, but he's still getting a fair amount of tackles. Knight, his playing time got reduced last week,
Yes, it went
so
it went down 1,000 basis points or 10%. From
yeah,
I believe it was 78 to 68. Now that could be a matchup situation. Now the other thing though for
could be.
Seattle, Julian Love doubtful, Nicky Monwari doubtful, Devin Witherspoon doubtful. Does that impact saying maybe Knight stays on the field because so many secondary members are out? And does he end up staying on the field more?
Oh, is this Therese Knight? I was thinking Demetrius Knight.
Oh, that's a great question.
If it's Therese Knight, then yeah, he's probably the last guy here.
So if it's all right, so that's a great question. We don't know if it's Tyrese or Demetrius. Didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's Therese Knight.
Okay, it is Tyrese. Okay. So with that, who you sitting? Just to make sure we're clear for red herring.
Make a good point with all the safeties. We'll sit Pratt just because he's spending more time on the edge.
Yeah, and a lot of his tackles that he did get were very late in the game as well. Did Pratt? So I'm leaning Pratt. The only thing we'd say red herring is Pace has a risk of playing lower snaps, but he is usually efficient in the snaps he plays in terms of the number of tackles per snap. So that's why I would still lean a little bit towards Pace over Pratt in this particular one. Good luck, man, and hope it, or I shouldn't say man, good luck, red herring. Hopefully it works out well. Jame Ram, Tucker Kraft, or Michael Pittman? So
Tucker Kraft's
Daniel
pretty
Jones, we
banged
have them
up.
going against Tennessee. Kraft, that knee, that there's a concern, but supposedly it was just a scare, and he's supposed to play. We'll check in actives here in a little bit to see. But right now, if you had to make a call, Kraft isn't getting a lot of targets, so he has had a lot of yak, and he has gotten touchdowns. Pittman against that Tennessee defense. Snead is supposed to be back in the secondary as well. Brownlee is questionable. Who are you leaning towards on this one, Shawn?
If it's just regular scoring, I think I'm leaning Michael Pittman. He seems to be Daniel Jones's main target here, where Kraft could have been a little more uh, situational there. Could see more Golden, more Dobbs. I figure that's going to vary every game. Dontavian Wicks might have a good game this week, so I like Pittman's.
in this,
Target small
despite
on them.
the he's going to play and it's a scare and all this kind of stuff, there's no way you can't tell me there's something not wrong with his knee. And they're playing the Browns, and expect this will become a blowout. And if it becomes a blowout, and if he isn't 100%, I could see him going to the bench at some point as well. He being Kraft. The Titans. I expect this game between the Colts and Titans to be very close, folks. The
Yeah,
Titans defense has done very, very well, and if Ward can continue to take a few steps forward, so I think Pittman stays in the game. I think they're a little bit having to be a little bit more aggressive. I'm going Pittman over Kraft as well. Okay, Raymond Phillips has an interesting one. Peyton Wilson with the Steelers, or Servasia Dennis, and of course we've talked quite a bit about Servasia, but Peyton Wilson, the Steelers' run game has been blown up. Peyton Wilson has been one of the ones that has been attributed with some of the concerns, as has Patrick Queen, by the way. Now, Derek Harmon, the rookie first rounder, is expected to play, although he's questionable this week, is expected to play. Does that help the linebackers to keep them a little bit more clean this week? So we're going Wilson or Servasia Dennis, Shawn?
I'm going Wilson.
I am as well. I'm not going to take the chance on Servasia. I want to see how this plays out one
Yeah,
more week. See how many snaps does Deion Jones. I'm worried this might be a Servasia Dennis run game, a run defense, and Deion Jones pass defense kind of thing
right.
potentially. And so that could have him at the 50 to 60% mark. So I'd rather go with Peyton Wilson, who's been, probably in the high 80s, kind of from a snap count perspective. Grim Zozo, I think this is a new name to our IDP Start Sit show. Xavier Watts, the safety, Drew Phillips, the slot cornerback against the Chiefs, who will be targeting that slot area a decent amount. But they do play a lot of 2 and 3 tight ends as well, which means Phillips will be off the field in those situations potentially.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things with less 11 personnel. Phillips will be off more. So again, I'm probably going to take the safety over the cornerback most of the time, and I'm taking Watts over Phillips here as well.
Yeah. And Bryce Young looked so bad early in that game last week. Why did he do well? Well, they were passing a lot because they were coming from behind, and the Cardinals had cornerbacks dropping like flies. I was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
So I don't. That won't be the case here. I think Atlanta will get a decent pass rush against Bryce Young. Xavier Watts, I think, will get plenty of opportunities. I'm right there with you. Let's go with Xavier Watts. Richard Malone. Hey, Richard, good to have you here. I'm glad you're here with us, and always enjoy your engagement, man. So thank you, Richard. Glad to have you, bud, and look forward to hearing you throughout the year from you. JJ, and I'm guessing this isn't Justin Jefferson. It could be. Um, I don't think it's Justin Jefferson. Maybe it's JJ McCarthy because he has spare time, Shawn. But is it Cooper DeJean or Andrew Wingard is question number one. Jared Verse or Kayvon Thibodeau. Now, we don't have the scoring system, JJ, but that aside, who are we going with first in the defensive back selection?
yeah. I'm probably going Wingard here. It's not by a lot. I do feel this is pretty close, but I think Wingard's going to be on the field probably a little more. That Rams Eagles game might be a 13-9 kind of game, something weird. Um,
I'm with you on Wingard, by the way. So
first,
we relying on that.
first or Thibodeau. This one's interesting here because I'm worried about the Eagles not giving up many sacks. First had a
And of course,
sweet matchup last week, got us no sacks, so
yep.
I'm a little upset with him.
Yeah, Verse, as we talked about in our IDP advice show that came out on Wednesday morning, Verse has a couple of quarterback hits, but he has no sacks so far this year. Not sure what's going on there. And then with this tough matchup, on the other hand, we have Kayvon Thibodeau and the Giants with against the Chiefs. Of course, we have maybe not as strong tackles there. Let's put it that way. But it is Thibodeau versus Verse. I think I'm going Thibodeau on this one. I'm going counter to what probably most rankings have, Shawn.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way too. I am. I'm with you.
All right. So good luck to you, JJ, whether it be McCarthy, Jefferson, or someone else. All right, MK2000. Welcome back, MK. 2-0 so far. Thanks again with all the information. Not many go as in depth as you two do. So yes, thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. Glad to have you here. And thanks for hitting the like. And he says, hit the like button, everybody. I agree with that. Hit the like button. Love that. Red Herring has a. This is a demonstration of my crappy comments, and this is how they will look. I'm not quite sure what that means. You're gonna have to help me out with that one, Shawn. I'm gonna go into the next question here. Richard Malone is once again asking, start three linebackers: Nate Landman, Zaire Franklin, Zach Bond, Cody Barton, Peyton Wilson, or Mr. Schlesinger, Mr. Carson Schlesinger. So he needs to start three. You and I were talking before the show about Franklin. One of the things we talked about is one, on the one hand, there's been low snap count. He's been below 60 snaps, including one, the first game being 39, which has contributed to his low production. On the other hand, there are some good comments that were made during the week about how the Bengals are using more man-to-man defense for their linebackers as opposed to zone, which was used more last year, which actually impacts negatively linebacker scoring, and that's also contributed to Franklin's problem. So I wanted to share that with the audience here in terms of things to look for and understand when you're watching these games about how they're being used, because zone keeps it in front of them. They, quick drop offs, easy to come and make a tackle versus man, where they're sometimes chasing to have their back to the ball and so forth. So with all that said, which of these three are you starting this week, Shawn?
Yeah, I was sitting here looking at some of these matchup rankings, and the Packers are actually giving up the least amount of points to linebackers currently. So that makes Schlesinger a little more iffy. Landman, I'm starting. Cody Barton, I'm starting. My third is between probably Bond and still Schlesinger, but I'm leaning Bond here.
I'm aligned with you on those three as well. Those are my three: Landman, Bond, and Barton. And I don't think Kaiser White is being called up to replace Barton, who's been playing 100% of the snaps. So I think it's Landman, Bond, and Barton. And let's see what happens with Franklin this week here against Tennessee, who, while I think the game will be close, I still don't think this is to be a high snap count game. All right. Richard also is asking any thoughts on Billy Bowman.
I like Billy Bowman. If it's on MFL, he is designated as a safety. Makes him a little less appealing, although he is getting enough tackles to maybe warrant some starts. ESPN, he is a cornerback, in which case I am definitely starting him.
Right. So the position eligibility is key on this one. And as a safety, he's not quite as attractive. As a cornerback, much more attractive. Now, this is against the Panthers, who do play a decent amount of three wide. So Bowman should be on the field as their slot cornerback a decent amount. And particularly if you believe my narrative earlier that I think was going to happen, that Atlanta's going to get a lead and Carolina's going to have to play from behind. So that creates good opportunities for Bowman. So that's our thoughts on Billy Bowman. Richard, good luck. Rugaru um, has a question here, and I actually saw him ask this to someone else online as well. Henley, Barton, Schlesinger, Noah Sewell. He could pivot to Mac Wilson. And I think he's saying he needs three with the big three comment here.
Well, we just talked up Cody Barton a bit, so sticking with him. And Sewell and Schlesinger really messed me up here. I think I still want Schlesinger over Sewell. I am worried
And you,
about that. About Sewell having a tough game this week against the Cowboys, who are just throwing it around everywhere. Um, and then Henley, assuming Henley plays and everything's good enough, I'm going Henley as well.
yeah. Now the good news is that, and I'm just checking the schedule here on the side. There's one, two, three, 4 games in the late afternoon window. And so if Henley is inactive, Sewell is in that late window, and Mac Wilson is in that window. So if he goes with Henley and suddenly he is inactive, Sewell or Mac Wilson, Shawn?
I man, I think I'll lean Mac Wilson just for the safer floor.
I actually would go Sewell on that one. So
Think
we're
so?
splitting that one on splitting that one on Rugaru. I do agree. Wilson, as we talked about earlier, 3 tackles, 3 solos, 5 assists is my expectation. I think Sewell will get 9 or 10 tackles today in that game. We shall see, though. Rugaru also has one more question. Kevin Byard, Harris. I'm drawing a blank. Oh my goodness. Harris.
Probably Will Harris.
Will Harris. Yes, there we go. Josh Metellus, Jalen Petrie. Needs 2 of these gentlemen. So Harris is, boy, a floor play for sure. Based on what we've seen, he's playing the right amount of snaps in the right locations, but just isn't getting much production. He's been, like a 5, 6 tackle kind of guy, if I remember correctly. Medalist, we think, will return to his previous utilization, as we talked about earlier in the show. Petrie's playing that slot. Jacksonville has been playing a decent amount of 3 wide. And then we've got Kevin Byard, who's been playing a lot of deep safety, and it's been impacting his stats. So not necessarily the greatest of options here, Shawn. Um,
I think I'm leaning Metellus,
yep, that's my first one as well.
and it's between Petrie and Byard, and I think I'm leaning Petrie. It's not by a lot though.
Ooh.
If you could talk me into Byard, I'd go with it.
Um,
Okay, so
the,
Byard's playing the Cowboys,
yes, that is correct.
so we're expecting a bit of a shootout here.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be a decent amount of passing that's going to create the opportunities for Byard. I'm leaning towards Byard over Petrie in this one. And the Raiders just haven't been running the ball very much, which would help Will Harris's stats. So I'm going to go Medalist and Byard on this one, Shawn.
Yeah, you talk me into it. I'll switch Byard to just based on this matchup here, um, and I'm going to cut you off here. So we do have.
Thank you, Ken, very much. Let's get Ken's question up there, Shawn.
I'm looking for it. I'm held up here, so I think it's a little above.
Let me see here. I got
And
it.
it's you got it. All right.
Zach Bond was dropped in my league. Would it be wise to drop Nick Bonito and pick up Bond? Thank you
Ooh.
again.
Now that one is very interesting. 2 different types of linebackers here.
And I'm going back up. Was Ken the one that had the unique scoring system? Was that Red Herring? I'm going back to double check
I
here.
believe that was Red Herring that had the
Yeah,
15-point
that is
sacks and all
correct.
that. I assume if you're thinking about dropping Nick Bonito, you don't need him to start. So I'm assuming he's probably a bench here. Benito's going to give you sacks or nothing most weeks. He's a bit boomer bust, I think. Zach Bond hasn't been lighting it up as the top linebacker, but I think I prefer Bond over Benito, depending on scoring.
Yeah, I'm with there. I'm right there with you. I'm going with Zach Bond as well. The scoring system, Ken, if you could let us know the scoring system, we'll double check here. But I would, all else being equal, I'm taking that inside linebacker with the tackles, opportunities, and all with Zach Bond over Nick Bonito. So let's go. We're going to go with that, but we'll be looking out to see if you put the scoring system out there for us. And thank you for doing the super chat. Appreciate it. All right, next is Van Dam. And I don't know if this is Rob Van Dam. We have an all kind of guests. We had Justin Jefferson and JJ McCarthy. Now we got Rob Van Dam, the pro wrestler. Um, of course, I'm making all this up. Been disappointed with the linebacker Caden Ellis, and I want to pivot to Devin White or Mac Wilson. So for this week, absolutely very comfortable with Devin White over Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis, it's his utilization in Van Dam. If you haven't checked out our Wednesday weekly IDP advice show, you'll hear us talk about Caden Ellis, and they're using him quite a bit on the edge, and they've been leaving Diablo more in the box and using Ellis more on the edge, sort of like when we referenced Jermaine Pratt earlier, is taking away those tackle opportunities. So whereas Devin White is playing 100% of the snaps, basically all in the box, no problem with pivoting to Devin White. Okay, I had a passion on that one, Shawn. I usually ask you first, but and not just because Devin White's an LSU guy, but Anything you disagree on
Unbiased.
that?
No, and I've actually done the same thing. I've benched Ellis for Devin White in a league.
Yeah.
So yeah, I fully agree with that. Before you go there, here is Ken's scoring.
Okay, 1 point tackle, 3 points for a sack, 2 points for TFL. Particularly with on 3 points for a sack, I think our Zach Bowen. I think we stick with that, Sean, with our recommendation.
Yeah, I think so because he can also get the tackles for a loss there to double up those. And he's been known to get a few sacks, especially last year. I want to say he had about 3 or 4. So yeah, I'm still sticking with Bond on that.
Yeah, we're 100% online with that, Ken. All right, so let's go back to Richard Malone here, and thank you for pulling that up, Sean. Drop Peyton Wilson for Ivan Pace. I'd say no.
No,
Okay, we're aligned on that, Richard. We're not dropping him.
one more.
JT the Juice Man says, oh,
I'm going to catch you up one more time.
okay. They start two linebackers. I have Benito and Carl Granderson now.
So this is for a linebacker spot.
So,
So Benito and Carlson have linebacker designation as well.
right. Is
Yeah,
that,
Bond and Granderson, I'd be great with that duo.
oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Ken. Bond and Granderson, because Granderson it gives you a lot of tackles as well, when
Yes.
Benito doesn't give as many tackles. And the way they're using him, he is racking up the sacks as well. Love the way the Saints are using him right now. Okay. Thank you, Sean, for keeping an eye on that, buddy. JT the Juice Man, I have McConkey, JSN, Ted McMillan, and AJ Brown. Am I crazy for benching AJ Brown? With those other choices, you are not crazy for benching AJ Brown.
Yeah, it's. I think you have to right now. He's not doing anything, and the Eagles have shown no urgency to start passing yet. So until that changes, great depth, and if he returns to form, then you got a great guy sitting on the bench.
Right. All right. I got to jump ahead for one question because I've been giving my kids grief about not watching our shows and want my son to actually watch the show. And he's got a question in here. So I'm going to give him an answer here. Is Marlon Humphrey playing today or Nate Wiggins? Or should I start? It's not Kenyon Martin. I think it's like Kevon or
Keon
Keon
is
Martin.
Keon
Yeah.
Martin.
It's Keon Martin. Yeah.
Yeah,
So Marlon Humphrey was taken off the injury report from what I saw, and he is expected to play. So I'm rolling with Marlon Humphrey in the slot. Sean?
yeah, I'm with you. Had he not, Keon Martin would have been a top pickup this week.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to go into rapid fire for the last 7, 8 minutes. But if you want to get your question answered before we go off there, do the super chat like Ken Vasquez did, and we will definitely answer your questions. All right. Lil J Money is next. Minnesota coach or Atlanta defense? I like Atlanta, but no AJ Terrell scares me. Please help. I'm still not worried about AJ Terrell being out. But I do like the Colts, and I'm in a guillotine league, and I actually picked up the Colts against the Titans this week, and I had the choice of the Colts or Atlanta, and I bid more into the Colts. Sean, where are you at this one? But the Vikings, well, I got to remember the Vikings have
They have
Cincinnati, and they have Jake
Cincinnati.
Browning, so that's a great matchup as well too. I think I might lean towards the Vikings the more I'm thinking about it.
They've been giving up a lot of points. Still get some sacks and interceptions and whatnot. Yeah, I'll
The
go
Bengals,
Minnesota.
yeah,
Uh,
the Bengals O line has struggled to say the least.
mm,
As a and so while I do like the Colts, I do like Atlanta, Minnesota. So I think you have three good choices there. Lil J Money, good luck, man. All right, we're in rapid fire, so I'm the one that keeps on saying we got to go faster, not talk too much. Let's go with Bird here. Pick two linebackers: Swessinger, Roseboom, Logan Wilson.
Roseboom, Logan Wilson,
Agree. Two defensive backs: Hufanga, Curl, Watts.
Watts, and Hufanga.
Sorry, Bird, we're going to split this one. I'm going Hufanga and Curl on that one. Watts is last for me. Burns or Will Anderson, the defensive line?
Burns.
Burns, I agree with you on Burns. Let's go to Evan Smith. Welcome back, Evan Smith. Would you bank on Jack Campbell playing on Monday? If not, who would you choose for the flex spot? Abdul Carter, Herbig, Chamari Connor, or Peyton Wilson? I know your answer on this one.
Shamari Connor.
Chamari Connor is the correct answer. I would continue to look for news up until the 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central kickoffs here. But right now, I'd be very comfortable playing Shamari Connor. I think he might score just as much as Jack Campbell, depending on your system. And there I go talking too much again. Would you start limited Egbuka or Travion Henderson in half point PPR?
Uh,
I'm doing Travion.
are you?
I am. I saw him wrapping up Egbuka, and he was not the same player when he was back on the field with that wrap.
So even with Henderson not getting a lot of playing time or touches, you think
I
that's the
think
way to
that's
go?
going to change this week. That's my bet.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
go with that.
So I
Henderson as
think
well.
all right. We're going with the healthy body who we think is going to play a little bit more. Brandon says, "Hey guys, love the content. Thank you, Brandon. What do you guys think from a fourth linebacker spot between Winters, Murray, and Wilson? Ooh, that's a very interesting one. Who would you start this week in that fourth linebacker spot?
I'm leaning Wilson, um, but I like all three of these guys. I think I want Eric Wilson this week. This is your
That one's
fourth
close.
linebacker, so you're doing really well if these are your fourth options.
Yeah, oh boy, I'm leaning a little bit towards D Winters on this one, but I
He's my
think
second option.
yeah, Wilson and Winters. It's a coin flip. I'm going to go with the guy that's wearing the green dot overall. Let's go with Wilson. Okay. Raymond's asking Omarion Hampton or Alik Eyamanor.
Um, I think I want Hampton this week
So you think he's going to get more touches than he has been in the past
against the Saints or no
against the
Broncos
Broncos?
against the
Broncos
Broncos.
and that Broncos fairly strong defense. I think I'm going to Eyamanor in this one.
Yeah, because that could be a bit of a shootout with the Colts. But yeah, I'll switch with you.
Okay. Good luck, Raymond. Fantasy breakout. Need to drop them for quarterback because it can't put Daniels in the IR slot. Oh,
That
okay.
was way back with
Way back
dropping
earlier on. Okay.
Sampson
Uh,
or
yeah.
shoot.
So out of all these folks, are
Yeah,
I'm I'm still
drop
dropping
Sampson.
Samson.
Yeah,
Yep, still dropping Samson fantasy breakout. Good luck to you, buddy. Rugaroo verse woof. I agree with you. Yaya or Milton Williams, pick two.
Milton's been on fire.
He has been, and we have the Patriots going up against the Steelers, so I'm good with Milton.
Steelers are giving up the most points to defensive tackles.
Yeah, so I'm going Milton Williams. Yaya's been active, but it hasn't translated. And the same with Verse. I'll go with the higher. I think the slightly higher upside with Verse over
Yeah,
Yaya.
I'm aligned with you. I like Versa Riaya.
All right. J.K. Kelly's asking, start Petrie or Bullard?
Mm. I'll say Petrie just in case the Packers try something crazy with Bullard.
Yeah, the one thing we have to still worry about is if Hobbs starts getting back to 100%, do they kind of move him into the slot a little bit more? That's the reason why. If Bullard ends up playing like he did last week, that'll be the wrong guess. But as of now, I think Hobbs could impact things. I'm with you on Petrie, Benito, Grenard, or Josh Allen.
Definitely Grenard or Greenard. And then this is a bit of a toss up. Man. Allen? I'll go Josh Hines Allen over
So,
Benito this week.
okay, that's our order. I agree, JK. David Tan is asking, give up on Servasi Dennis. No, we're not giving up
No.
on him. No, 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 no. We're just monitoring for this week to see what the playing time looks like. Shawn, have you scrolled through just to make sure there's no super chats as we're getting near the end
Yeah,
here?
yeah, we're still good.
Okay. B. Blair is asking, welcome, B. Blair. Penix, Gino, Russ Wilson, Wentz, or Tyrod. Ooh, I think I'm going
Leland Penix.
Penix.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we're both going Penix on this one in the Carolina matchup. All right. Easy one here. Chamari Connor, Eric Murray for B. Blair.
Shamari Connor. Yeah.
Shamari Connor. We love Shamari Connor's top three safety, and probably higher. Van Dam is asking start two out of Connor, Hufanga, Hooker, or Morig.
I like
Hufanga's
Connor.
leading the league in tackles. I mean, leading the defensive backs in tackles, I should say.
I like Connor for sure, and I like Mary a lot too. But I'll take Hufanga
Yeah, I'm going
over.
Connor and Hufanga, but these are four great options, Van Dam. You're in great shape there. I wouldn't. Hooker would probably be last for me, but I, wouldn't
Yeah.
fault you for playing any two of these four. To be honest with you, Mooring would be third for me. Harrison Smith back. Do we feel better about
Yes.
medalists? We hit on that earlier. The answer is yes, Rugaru for sure. Red herring. I forgot Demetrius is starting now. Oh,
Oh, the
because he
other
just
night.
used the
Yeah.
term night. Yeah, okay,
Right.
got it. All right, Harry Brooks, continue from my previous question regarding safety. Eric Murray was picked up. Who is next on the list? Oh man, I don't know if we're gonna have time to scroll back up. We'll try and get back to that one, Harry, if we can. Rob Kane, Byron Young, or I guess that's Bobby Wagner. Uh, Without the
I'm
scoring system, got to
probably
see
going to lean
tackles.
Wagner. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to go Bobby Wagner on that one, Rob. Be sure and leave your scoring system next time, Rob, so that we can help you a little bit closer on that one. Jacob H is asking, pick two in a full PPR of Logan Wilson. No, that can't be Logan Wilson. Garrett Wilson's got to be Garrett Wilson because we're on offense. DK Metcalf, Dobbins, Diggs, or Olave. We're going to pick two of those. It's not Diggs. It's not Olave. I'm I'm going to go with DK as the number one receiver for Pittsburgh, and I think I don't know how much I'm trusting Tyrod with Garrett Wilson this week, so I'm going to go Dobbins. I think and DK as my two, Sean.
Garrett Wilson's had terrible quarterbacks all of his career. I'm still taking Wilson, and DK is my second. Yeah.
All right, that's a fair point as well. So DK for sure, and then it's a coin flip on Wilson or Dobbins for us. Marcus is asking, welcome, Marcus. I don't think we've had you before, bud. Um, Good morning to you. Dobbins or Sutton in PPR? I
Um,
think I'm comfortable going Sutton. I think last
I
week
am
was
too.
an oddball game. I think they're going to target him more this week, so I'm in on Sutton this week.
Back to Harry Brooks real quick. We were down to Xavier Watts or Chuck Clark as the pickups with Eric Murray gone.
I'm going Chuck Clark for 1 week and then Xavier Watts for the season, depending on what the needs are.
There you go.
You agree, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. Jacob H. Always appreciate your help and advice. You guys tend to put me in the right direction. Glad to hear that, Jacob. Glad we could help you out, man. That's awesome. All right. Going down to Adam here. We just going to do one or two more. Sorry, folks, and then we're going to be out of time. Demario Davis or Nate Landman? God, I wish we knew the scoring system on this one, Sean.
Yeah, this is actually really close to. Give me Landman.
I'm going to go Landman with the Eagles running so much. I agree with you, but the scoring system could make a difference if there was big plays scoring here. All right. My son has one more question here. Some be nice and answer it. Denzel Burke or Keitrell Clark? Clark is supposed to play the slot, so I think I'd lean Clark in this one. Sean?
I'm with you.
All
I'm
right.
gonna cut you off here.
Oh,
Fantasy
fantasies.
Sports, and
Okay.
for his dollar, his question is, "What happened to the mustache? Did I lose a bet?"
You got to answer, Sean. I didn't
Yeah.
get a chance to ask you before the show as well. So what's the scoop?
Sometimes, if you don't attach your guard very tightly to your beard trimmer, it will become askew and take a bigger chunk out of your mustache than you like. So you just shave it all off.
That's awesome. Thank you, Fantasy Sports. That's awesome. JTR, Jawan Johnson or Travis Kelsey?
I don't.
I'm in on Jawan Johnson. I think he's going to, particularly with Seattle, with so many secondary folks hurt and the way Rattler's been targeting him. I'm all in on Johnson this week on that one.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think I want to start Kelsey at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. One stop. I don't know if we had one stop before. Welcome, one stop. Glad to have you. Thoughts on lot two, Sean?
Uh, yeah, he's playing right. Playing against the Titans. Fire him up.
Yes, agreed. He's back healthy. He was full practice most of the week, so I would fire him up as well. And with that, we're going to stop there. And we went about 5 minutes over to try and rapid fire. I would prefer if we had, 3 hours so we could give you all the details behind all our answers. So sorry we had to rapid fire those at the end, but hopefully we helped you all out. Shawn, any final comments for our audience?
Good luck, guys.
All
That's all
right.
I
So
got.
good luck to y'all. Look, just as a reminder, check out our IDP Plus Advice show that we tape on Tuesday nights and comes out on Wednesday mornings, sometimes very early on Wednesday mornings. Um, and we're given all kind of detailed information on positional alignment, snap counts, injuries, who went in for people who had injuries, etc. Check it out. It's going to make you. It's going to make it more fun for you to watch the games and also help you from an education perspective and help you in as you move forward. So with that, we're going to call it a wrap. So on behalf of Shawn Teague, this is Ricky Rodrigue. We're wishing you, your family, and your friends great health and happiness. And hopefully you have a great rest of the day and a great week 3 with some victories. Take care, everybody. Bye.